Yes guys, so we are back with another video. So here we're just going to change the suspensions on this Samsung top load washer. As you know, well, at least the people that work on these appliances, these suspension rods are very thin and very little, so they will go through their wear and tear after X, Y, and Z usage. So right now we're just gonna basically replace them, and we're gonna show you how to disassemble this washer. So first, what you want to do is, it has like these little plastic tabs in front. They hold 2 Phillips screws. They're pretty beefy. Once you take those off, that's just to lift up the front part of the lid. Now when you go in the back, there's gonna be it's just a bunch of Phillips screws, so just kind of follow along, and then you'll be able to see how I lift up the lid to be able to get to these suspension rods. So you see right there, getting rid of or taking off those Phillips screws. On some of these, you will have to remove the back panel that's at the bottom of that one, not the one on the control panel, but the bottom one, because there is a connector either on the left or right hand side. Not all the times, but most builds that look like this will have one. And if you don't take it off and try to lift up the lid, you're going to snap that little small cable, and then you're going to get a different error code because obviously something's not connected. So just take off that back part of the control panel. Be sure you can take off that black connector, because then you're just going to have that dangling. As you can see, just more Phillips screws on the left and right. Always, guys, remember, try to keep your screws in place and try to put the same ones in the same position that you took them off of, so everything can be back in order. So as you can see, that is the back panel that I was talking about. If I recall, I don't think this one had it, but we'll see right now. So another thing I want you guys to pay attention to, when you are changing out these suspension rods, Samsung, it's a little bit weird, because they're for the most part, they are all color coded. It's either they're all going to be all pink or all white from the top, but sometimes you have 2 pink in the front and 2 whites in the back. I'm not sure why they made them like that. And when you take off the first one, always compare it to the one that you're going to install, because sometimes they do run different lengths. It's not a big crazy difference that you'll be able to tell, but if you don't put the correct length on the one that corresponds to yours, that spin basket is going to start hitting that little tub ring, and then it's not going to be able to spin properly, or you're going to hear a loud scratching noise. So we don't want that. So as you can see, just removing more Phillips screws. I am loosening up that pressure switch right there on my left hand, just so we don't snap anything. And right there, I got caught with a little metal shard, so don't mind that. But yeah, it's just a bunch of Phillips screws, and what you want to do in the back is really just kind of loosen everything up, so you can be able to lift up the whole panel right there. As you can see, what you don't want to do is kind of lift it all the way up where you're stretching the wire harness, because you are going to strain those wires and run the risk of breaking some of them. Now there, if I'm not mistaken, I was just checking the part number, because sometimes, like I said, there's some that run 2 different colors. As you can see, those are pink right there, and some run two pinks in the front and then 2 whites in the back, or all white or all pink. So right there, you're gonna see me take the original one out, and then I'm just gonna basically do a side by side and see if they are the same ones. Just be sure you're kind of on a flat level surface where you can kind of compare them and see if they are the same. So as you can see, I have pink on one side and then white on the other, but they're the same length. So you just kind of want to be sure. Now at that point, if they're all the same length, the color doesn't matter. But just giving you guys a little bit of a tip there, because there was a call I ran for one of my co-workers, and it was like, oh, why are these not fitting here? And they just weren't the right size, and the customer was upset. But that's how you kind of learn these things. But yeah, as you can see, you just want to grab some pliers. You know, it's not really that hard to lift up. All you got to do is just lift up the suspension rod with one hand, hold the spin basket with the other hand, and then push the rod down and towards you so it can come out of its place. And then you can kind of see what you're doing if you keep looking down. If you want a flashlight just to give you more visibility, that would probably be better for you guys if it's one of the first times you guys doing this. So it's just, you know, something very small, but you just have to pay attention to what you're doing and be sure that they are actually in the position that they're in, that they need to be, that they're sitting well. One way you kind of want to reassure yourself is once you change all of them, be sure to just kind of with both hands push the spin basket down just to see if they are in the position that they need to be. And if you hear one snap into place, then even better. You know, that's what I usually do, just to kind of be sure that they're all sitting in the place that they need to be, because if they're not, once it comes to that rinse and spin, that thing is going to go all over the place, and it will probably give you a error message saying something about unbalanced load. But it's just, you know, and same thing. Look, now that I'm in the back, I still want to compare them. You see, these had 2 pink in the front and 2 in the white, two whites in the back. But yeah, the ones that I'm replacing, they're all like white. They're all the same length, so you know it doesn't matter at this point. We're good. So yeah, I think the most difficult part of this sort of appliance part change out, I think it's really the disassembling, because if you don't disassemble the top panel correctly, or basically the whole panel, you're not really going to be able to have space to change the ones in the back. And like I said, if you end up snapping a wire, that's just, you're not going to even get the job done, because you just snapped the wire and then you're going to have to find a way to fix it. But yeah, because changing these rods, these suspension rods is fairly easy. It's just the disassembling part that you have to kind of get down, and just be sure you put everything back in place, and then just, you know, run a quick little rinse and spin, or if it has a mode where you can just do the spin, just let it spin out until it's over, and then, you know, you're good to go. But for the most part, it's very easy, kind of self-explanatory after you do it the very first time. Like I said in all the videos that, you know, I do to try to help you guys, is, you know, take your time, take pictures. Taking pictures is like probably the most important thing you can do. Is you can always have a reference point to go back to if you get lost or something like that. And you know, if this is like your first time, or it's your own washer, you know, you're not on a time limit. Just, you know, take your time. You know, if it takes you an hour or 2 or whatever, man, that's completely fine. Just go at your pace. Just be sure you don't break anything, and just put everything back where it needs to be. And yeah, like I've always said, these videos are just to assist you guys out for anything that you can possibly end up doing yourself. I'm not really shooting myself in the foot by losing customers by showing how you're supposed to do these appliance parts change outs, because some people are always going to have their problems, and they're always going to request help because they don't want to go about it themselves. So I'm just really doing this because, you know, as most of us know, we all have a bunch of appliances in our own home, and some of us, we kind of wish what was going on with some of these appliances, to either try to fix them on our own to kind of save us a quick buck, which is probably the only reason that you would want to do it, because you're going to save yourself a good penny. Because appliance repair, if you don't have no insurance or no home warranty on your appliances, it will cost you a pretty penny if it's not something, if it is something major. Even as simple as, you know, changing a small little knob on a dryer or a washer, you still got to pay out that fee for have the people to come out. You still have to pay them the labor. So, you know, you're basically, if you don't really know the people, you're probably always going to end up paying more than $100 guaranteed. So as you can see, we're kind of basically wrapping it up already, just putting everything back in order. Yeah, the very first time that I kind of came across these suspension rods, I did take my time. I think it took me like, I don't know, 45 minutes just to do, because I didn't know how to disassemble it completely where I had enough room. And actually that little wire or cable I tell you that's on the inside after you take off that back panel off, I learned the hard way because I ended up snapping that cable. So just trying to make you guys not make the same mistakes I did if you don't need to. So I'm just here to help out. So as you can see, we're basically done putting the two beefy Phillips screws in the front. Put your plastic tabs back on, and then we should be up and rolling right after, really. And let's see what happens. So it's like I said, guys, it's not really rocket science. You do have to have some sort of, you kind of have to be a little bit mechanically inclined to be able to do some of these jobs. But I mean, if you just take your time, watch the video, I mean, anybody can do it, really. So right there, I think I put it on a rinse and spin or whatnot, but it's just very simple work, just trying to help people out. And usually what I tell the customers after we're done is, as soon as I see the washer starts to spin, hey, just leave it right there, let it finish, so the suspension rods can basically acclimate themselves to the weight of the spin basket. And I always let them know on the first load, always try to keep it light. Don't overload it just because you're backed up on your clothes. Just keep it light. After you're done with that first cycle, just use it as normally as you would. But at the same time, always just do not overload your washers, because it's just gonna wear out the parts and damage them quicker than what they need to. But yeah, I think that's really much it for this video. I'll have another video posted up in a day or two, but I really appreciate you guys for watching. But always help out your boy by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, and I can keep bringing more videos to you guys that will really, I know, will end up helping you guys out, regular normal folk, or new appliance repair technicians that are going out into the world. So really appreciate it, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.